Carolyn's RV Life admits to using the womb broom, tells men that vasectomies are actually horrible right now, and in fact tells everyone that using contraceptives are much more difficult than termination. All this coming up on the Line Screw One show.
Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw One. Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well in this crazy YouTube universe. First of all, we do have an announcement that Carolyn's RV Life is not feeling very well. She may have the COVIDs again. Don't know if it's true, but she claims that, so let's wish her a speedy recovery so she can get back on that Satan link, uploading the evil onto the Twitters, because her Twitter account has just been crazy. And even on her other account, her As I See It account, she has been admitting to some horrible atrocities. Can't believe that somebody with any lick of sense would do this. Now, I know that discretion is the better part of valor, and she knows nothing of either things, and talking about the things that she's been talking to is quite disturbing, and we're going to get to that today. So, I know that you know that I know that I am the world's leading expert of Carolyn's RV Life, and I tend to balance her little propaganda with the actual level-headed conservative truth that you guys all appreciate here, because I have a very smart audience and I know many of you can actually see through the nonsense. Now, of course, she's been congratulating her moderators on censorship. It's almost like they give tribute to the Chinese Communist government, because even China doesn't even censor as bad as Carolyn's RV Life does. That's why everybody comes to my channel, because they're seeking the truth, the unadulterated truth. And of course, we know that the crazy algorithms and the bots, they actually do enough censorship already that, you know, why does Carolyn even have to censor anything? But she's a very soft-hearted person, cannot take criticism, even the most gentle criticism, cannot take it. So we talk about it here, and we do it in a very respectful and sometimes funny fashion. So let's get to it. On her As I See It channel, I think it was a couple videos ago, I know she was smart enough not to post this on her own channel. She admitted to having several abortions. Yeah, first she admits, I had an abortion. Then she goes, abortions. That's more than one for you counting at home. If you don't believe me, let's put up the clip. That's fair use, folks.
I had to have abortion. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I had more than one.
And in that video, she admits to having several abortions. Now, I don't know why anybody would actually do that and tell the whole world. You know, if you do that, you're kind of opening yourself up to some criticism, and it's the type of thing that most people would only talk about in a private setting to close friends or family. But for some reason, she wants to monetize misery. She's a real queen at doing that. Anytime there's something about victimhood that she wants to insert herself in to be a professional victim, she's there to monetize it. And she did it with her abortions. Now, she goes on to claim that actually getting contraceptives are so much more difficult than a termination of a pregnancy. Oh boy, is she wrong on that. That is like me saying that it is much easier for my insurance company to pay for theft rather than that burdensome task of locking the doors before I leave. Because we all know locking a door to prevent thieves from stealing your stuff, that is so difficult. Very difficult. And it's just so much easier to file an insurance claim and have them write you a check eventually. Yeah, that's pretty much the parallel that she's trying to draw when it comes to contraception and having a termination. She goes on some long-winded explanation of how some people can't get the contraceptives, and she's trying to insert and insinuate that she's kind of one of these people. But she grew up as an adult in the Bay Area, very liberal, lots of contraceptives available. Apparently, she let a couple pucks past the goalie. To use a Canadian reference, as I am Canadian, I gotta give homage to that wonderful game of ice hockey. So apparently she wasn't minding the net too carefully, and she let a puck slip in right through the back, right to the back side of the net. Yep, score one for the guys. I don't know if I'd want to be that guy, you know, doing the high five, admitting that I got one past the goalie from her. But nonetheless, she admits that there was a few shots on net that were successful. Oh well, and apparently she did done terminate them. Now, that's up to you to decide whether that's good or bad. You can put your comments down below, but I think just kind of admitting that off the cuff and not really giving a crap about it, that's pretty ghoulish. And of course she goes on to say things like, abstinence is really not realistic. Well, actually, I think she's wrong in that regard, because she's obviously doing a really good job at abstinence now. There ain't nobody tapping that. There ain't no tapping and flapping. There ain't no baby daddies out there. She's doing a great job at celibacy and keeping the men away. I don't know how she does it. I got a few ideas. You can put your comments down below on how she actually does keep the men away right now, but could be the fact that she's so socially isolated and allergic to water. You know, those water allergies, they really do affect your lifestyle and your love life, I think. But I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I'm a little different than Carolyn. I admit I'm wrong all the time. Carolyn almost never admits that she's wrong, unless she can kind of flip that on its side and admit that the wrongness is something to be monetized and make some cashola off of. But anyway, I digress. So she goes on even to say that all the men who have had vasectomies now, because of the Roe v. Wade ruling, they're kind of like doing a slap into the face of all women, and they're being horrible men for actually taking charge of their own reproductive life, because they actually should have had their vasectomies in the past. So she's beaten up on people actually being responsible now, because she says they should have been responsible in the past. Like, all men are the same, all men are the same age, all men make the same decisions in life at the same time. No, men are individuals, Carolyn. We all make individual choices, just like you do. Now, the fact, Carolyn, that you make bad choices and you try to capitalize on it financially really shouldn't be our problem, but you're trying to make it our problem. So the fact that you can actually get contraceptives pretty much anywhere. She makes arguments that people in rural areas can't get it. Well, have you ever heard of mail order pharmaceuticals? It is available. Yes, they can mail you any sort of drug, including birth control pills. But she's reaching, folks. She's reaching, because she says that contraceptives are so much harder to get than a termination. Well, I beg to differ, and I'm certain many of you out here in my smart audience will agree with me on that assertion. It's just so nutty, folks, that she does this to herself. And I'm really aghast that she would admit to terminating multiple pregnancies. Who does that? That's like being a retired bank robber that never got caught admitting to people online, hey, I robbed banks, you know. And now you're in big trouble. Come on, Carolyn. Learn about discretion, learn about valor, learn about the dignity of your own personal privacy and respect for yourself. But she can't learn that lesson. You know, I'm, like many people say, I'm the last good friend she has on YouTube. And I try to set her straight with really good conservative advice. But she never listens too much. But she does do response videos. Even the last few weeks, I'll mention something in a video like her hypocrisy for the 9 mile per gallon. And the next video or two, she immediately responds to it. So she's always watching. You guys know she watches my channel all the time. You know, I've released the emails of how she's complained to YouTube about how she does not like me providing commentary on her life. Now, Carolyn, if you don't like commentary, don't do videos talking about controversial subjects in your life in a prideful fashion. That's all you have to do. If you don't put yourself out there, nobody would even know you exist. But apparently you really like to have that attention, negative attention, obviously, and you like to capitalize and monetize that. Don't know why. It's very silly. It's pretty easy to make a living in North America doing almost anything. You don't have to sell your dignity on YouTube telling people that you had multiple abortions to make a few bucks. It's sad, it's in poor taste. It doesn't matter where you are on the Roe v. Wade issue. It's in poor taste to talk about it, especially when you're not using the example as a learning example. If she would have said, yeah, I had multiple abortions and it's very tragic and I really regret it, and perhaps you should think before doing so yourself if you are a woman. Yes, I know I'm saying that women only have children because I'm conservative. I think there's only men and women. So what do you think about her little mea culpa about the pregnancy terminations? It's all very odd. It's all very disturbing. But it's all very Carolyn. Let's wish her a speedy recovery from her COVIDs or whatever ailment she has, so that she can just get on with her life and quit being so angry all the time. We're all here to provide calm, conservative advice to really get her life back on track. We're doing our best. We're making baby steps. I know we are. So put your comments down below on what you think about this crazy admission that Carolyn did. Hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.
I got you, I got you.